to Sunday night prime time, the Jacobson Report here on KOFO 1220, 103.7 FM, and listen live on KOFO. Primetime Sundays, the Jacobson Report is sponsored by Midwest Renewable Energy, LLC, ethanol, energy for a strong America. It's lean, it's clean, and it's green up in Nebraska. And we are also sponsored by LifeRunners.org. LifeRunners.org, protecting life from womb to tomb and assisting expectant mothers. We are your home and away voice of the Kansas City Royals. Oh my goodness, Sean, they're only a half a game up in that second wild card slot. They've lost 6 in a row. We're biting our fingernails over here. Also home of the mighty Ottawa Braves football team, guys. And we are the great country music station in East Central Kansas. And tonight on Sunday Night Prime, the Jacobson Report, we've got our great sports roundtable. We have assembled the legendary coach, Patrick J. Knapp Jr., Georgetown deep dive in the NCAA's Big East champ, top 10 finish in the nation, a man who brought women's athletics to parity from his perch there in Washington, D.C. 30 years ago, and now seeing the fruits of his labors bear off. We talk a little WNBA tonight. We've got Matt Garst with us, and Matt, he's an Iowa State guy, and boy, are we going to talk some Big 12 football tonight with K-State and Kansas. And last but certainly not least, Chip Reedman, who's got a little bit of Husker fandom in his midst. So we've got Kansas, Iowa, Nebraska, and our nation's capital all represented tonight, although Coach is now at New Mexico State University, and he's doing some, as a fellow broadcaster, he's doing some big-time stuff on ESPN and also his podcast as we march to the trenches. Hey, Coach, before we start off, you got a wonderful podcast series going. How do our folks plug into that great podcast? Sunday night here in Kansas City, they can listen to it all week long on the podcast.
Thank you, John, and good afternoon, everybody. Play-by-Play is the name of our podcast. Where you find your podcast, whether it's on iHeart, Amazon, or on Spotify. We have a motivational speaker by the name of Jamie Beckler on this week. And a week ago, we had the great Hall of Famer, Nancy Lieberman. So we're kicking the podcast off to a great start. This week, later in the week, September 27th, we will have the great Gabby Marshall, the sidekick of Caitlin Clark.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Iowa.
I am so jealous of you, Coach. I am so jealous.
So that'll be a great one. So tune in to Play-by-Play where you get your podcast.
Well, a lot of people are listening to our play-by-play tonight, so to speak. They're listening to the play-by-play of our Royals game on earlier this afternoon, and this signal reaches, my goodness, from Ottawa all over the map to Emporia, to the capital of Topeka, to Lawrence, the home of the Rock Chalk Jayhawks, all the way into the Kansas City suburbs and exurbs, and out here in Ottawa, Miami, Anderson, Franklin counties, and all points in between. Guys, let's talk sports. A lot of Kansas action. Matt Garst, let's start off talking about the Chiefs. Garsty, what say you? Can they do it again?
Absolutely, they can. I'm not real impressed with Atlanta, although they had a great comeback last weekend. Tonight's game, Chiefs favored by 3 at Atlanta. Kirk Cousins really was not playing very well. Looked like a statue in the pocket. And then the second half of that game last week kind of came alive and looked like the Cousins that played for the Vikings for a few years. So I'm confident that the Chiefs can handle this one. I'm never going to bet against Patrick Mahomes, ever. So I think the Chiefs, Pacheco being out as a running back, that's a problem for them. They've got some injury issues, but I think that I like the Chiefs to cover the 3 points tonight.
Great take by Matt Garst. Sean Torres, our super engineer here. Sean, how wonderful is it that we are the lead-in to the TV Chiefs tonight, where our 90-minute block will be going off the air right as the Chiefs are coming on. Can't think of a better way to do pregame for Chiefs than to listen to us here. Hey, Coach, I saw a Fran Tarkenton tweet or something on social media that says, hey, Patrick Mahomes isn't doing anything that I didn't do. Is Fran right, or is he just missed a few Super Bowl rings?
Not even close. Tarkington was a hell of a player, but my understanding is that he at least lost 2 Super Bowls with Minnesota. So there is no way, Franny.
Well, I'm going to go up to Garsti for just a second here. Matt, you are a Vikings fan. Does Fran have any street cred to make that comment?
Fran Tarkenton was awfully good, but no, he's way off on that one. Mahomes has far surpassed Fran Tarkenton.
I remember Howard Cosell saying, Fran the Scrambler, the gutty gambler. Coach, while we still got you on, size up the game tonight that folks are going to be listening to here in just a little over an hour.
Well, let me tell you, going into this game, the Chiefs are only 5-17 on third down. The opponent is 11 for 27. The Chiefs are being outgained total yards by over 100 yards, and they are -2 in the turnover ratio. Travis Kelce has not been unlocked yet. He's got 4 catches for 71 yards. I think it's going to be tougher than Garsti alludes to. Atlanta's on a high. My Philadelphia Eagles put them there with some ridiculous play calling. Either way, Atlanta will be fired up. I won't bet against Mahomes either, but this game's going to be a lot tougher than people think.
I want to know if we've got any folks listening in from Olathe or Shawnee or Kansas City, Kansas, where Nebraska Furniture Mart has their beautiful store there. Chip Riedman, you and I have shopped at Nebraska Furniture Mart in Omaha before. This Kansas City, Kansas store is beautiful, but Chip, how beautiful are the Chiefs going to be tonight on television? Can they keep the streak alive?
I'm pretty sure they can. I think everyone's made some excellent points about the game coming up. What I'd be concerned about is 2 different facts. Coach kind of alluded to it a little bit. But I'm looking at the Chiefs. They're 2-0. That's good. They've had 45 points scored against them so far this season. That's not really good numbers. They played the Baltimore Ravens, which oddly enough are 0-2 at this point, and they were expected, I believe, to possibly win their division. They also played Cincinnati, and everyone knows now in Kansas City the rivalry that game has become. So they've had a very tough start this season. I do not know what to expect with the Falcons game. What I'd be concerned about is I don't think this happens that much in the pros like it does in college. They've got the Chargers next week, and that is a very big game because now you're talking division, and the Chargers are also 2-0, and the Chargers are expected to do well from what I have read and possibly make it into the playoffs. So this game is just the beginning of their problems. I think that they need to get their defense stiffened up a little bit. Otherwise, they're going to be in some trouble real quick.
Primetime Sunday nights here, Jacobson anchoring with Sean Torres, and we've got the panel, the great panelists of Patrick Knapp, Matt Garst, and Chip Riedman. Let me go in reverse order here and stay with Chip. Hey, Chip, Kelce's not very quick out of the gate this year, struggling a little bit. Is he spending too much time with Miss Swift, getting diverted, getting distracted?
Oh, Lord, I have no idea what the Kansas City people think about this. I know several Kansas City fans up here. I think most of the country, I know from everything I've read and seen, move on. That moment is over. I don't know why the networks think that that's going to draw interest to the game. It's about football. That's what it's all about. And it always gets down to the famous line, just win, baby. And Taylor Swift's got nothing to do with that. So, yeah, I think Kelce will come alive. It's just going to take a little bit of time. People are going to forget about him if his numbers aren't up, and then boom, he's going to destroy somebody in a game.
Great take. Coach, I have a theory that sports trumps politics all the time, and I can prove it. Taylor Swift has been critical of Harrison Butker's conservatism openly and publicly. However, when Butker made the winning kick last week, she was doing a vertical jump, cheering and shouting and jumping up and down. I don't know if you had athletes that could do that kind of vertical jump. Am I wrong here, Coach? Sports triumphs over politics. Miss Swift was cheering like gangbusters after Butker drilled that kick.
I saw that shot up in their luxury box, and yeah, she should be happy. She made the right choice.
Hey, Garsty, are you surprised by Kelsey's slow start? Do you think he's distracted at all?
I think he's been traveling all over the world, and he's jet lagged from all the Taylor Swift concerts. He better get down to bed. Plus, I think his new haircut and mustache is killing him. So he's got to work on that, too.
Well, it's not the unibrow anymore. Matt Garst, what do you say?
Honestly, I think Travis Kelce's towards the end of his career. He's an excellent tight end. He's a Hall of Famer. But I think Father Time is undefeated. I think about the stuff that I used to do when I was younger. Obviously, I was nowhere near the athlete that Travis Kelce is. But I think maybe Father Time might be catching up a little bit. And honestly, with, you know, we're flying all over the place and doing all this stuff, I think he may be just a little bit distracted.
Hey, Matt Garst, you're not distracted. You're coaching all three of your kids. You're such a super dad. But Matt Garst, I have detected that you've been trending a little more conservatively in your overall zeitgeist toward life now that you have a daughter who's now officially a teenager. What's up with that?
Yeah, when they turn 13 and they act like they're 25, that seems to make Dad look at the world a little bit differently. The only other thing I'll say there is I've got a 10-year-old who will throw hands if anybody says anything to his sister, and I know my 16-year-old will. So I'm not too worried about her, but yeah, you grow up and hey, the world starts to look a little different as you get older.
Jacobson here. You're listening to us on KOFO 1220, 103.7 FM and streaming live. We are the home and away voice of the Kansas City Royals. And of course, some of you guys are up in the Omaha neck of the woods periodically where the Royals farm team is, the Storm Chasers. Now, guys, we're starting to take a whiff of the vapors here because, you know, the Royals had lost 7 in a row after getting to first place some weeks ago. Then they put on a bit of a surge, and now 6 losses in a row. Guys, they're barely clinging to that second wild card spot by half a game. Coach, are the Royals going to pull through here? That a devastating injury at first base, is it costing them?
They're in the tailspin, there's no doubt. They play San Francisco today. They finish up at Washington. They probably need to sweep them. And at Atlanta, the last 3 games will be very difficult. Right now, their starters, Singer, March, Waka, and Singer again, have pitched well. But they've lost 1- and 2-run ball games.
Oh, they're killing us. Yeah.
They're not hitting. They're not hitting right now. And they need a big effort this afternoon to break the tailspin, or the Detroit Tigers will jump them. It's going to be an interesting 7 final games for the Royals.
Yeah, we're biting our nails here. Primetime Sundays, the Jacobson Report is sponsored by Midwest Renewable Energy, LLC, ethanol, energy for a strong America. It's lean, it's clean, and it's green up in Nebraska. And we are also sponsored by LifeRunners.org. LifeRunners.org, protecting life from womb to tomb and assisting expectant mothers. Sean Torres, I was going to sell all that ad time for postseason play. Chip Reedman, do you think I should be nervous, or are they going to have to import some Omahans to stock this team here in KC-Mo?
I'm not really, sure on what to throw out there for the Royals. I think Coach pretty much summed it up. I'm worried that they're probably going to go the way of the Cubs at this point with just a late season collapse.
You're killing me, Smalls.
As an outside observer, so I wish them. I've always liked the Royals. I've always wished them the best. But reality is, I think, is setting in slowly here.
For the years of yesteryear, remembering the George Brett Pine Tar incident. Sean Torres, I was as young as you when that occurred there, and old Rush Limbaugh was their ad man. Garsty, can the Royals recover from this? They're killing us here with this tailspin. 2 out of the last 3 series, it's been just up and down for the Royals.
You know, as a guy who is a fan of the Minnesota Twins and small market teams all over the United States, I really hope the Royals do well. Now, my wallet hopes that they don't do as well because I've got a little side bet with a friend of mine who will have the better regular season record, the Twins or the Royals, and currently I'm losing by 1 game.
Ooh.
I think the Royals need to start hitting the ball better. The Twins are going to be a factor in this if they can get their act together, but, you know, they don't have, I mean, they're playing the Red Sox. They've got a series with the Red Sox right now. Then they play the Marlins, and they play the Orioles. The Twins, the Royals, and the Tigers are, I mean, every game is critical, and I give the edge to Detroit or Kansas City over Minnesota right now because Minnesota's relief pitching and bullpen has been terrible. So I think it's a 2-team race right now between the Royals and the Tigers. I think the Twins will just go ahead and disappoint me like they usually do.
That from Matt. Yeah, Coach.
I made a mistake. Singer and the rest of the starters were pitching well until yesterday when they got bombed 9-0.
Yeah, yesterday was brutal.
The Royals bats are silent.
Yeah, it's a tough. Well, you know, we have a lot of ticket promotions down there in Kauffman Stadium, and the Sherman family that owns the team, they've been very generous benefactors of the Ottawa Braves up here, so we love those guys, and occasionally we've got opportunities to get up into the skyboxes there. We also there was an Iowa Hawkeye evening at Kauffman Stadium, Sean Torres, and a lot of Hawkeye fans. Of course, I'm an Iowa Law alum, so folks know I've got not just the Ottawa black and gold, but the Hawkeye black and gold. Kate Martin threw out the first pitch. There was a huge crowd there, so that resonates, and we all know there's that affection that Iowa State fans have for Kansas City. Matt Garst explained that. There's this tie-in with Ames and Kansas City. It's incredible. You and Chip are both Iowa State alums. What's the affinity? Is it the hoops tournament? What is it?
Hey, it's for me being in the Omaha area. It's easy to get down there, even if you're in Ames. It's easy to get there for the Big 12 tournament. Big 12 tournament in basketball is something, if you have not been able to go, is wonderful. All the fans are great. Power and Light District is outstanding. They do a great job hosting that event. It's so much fun. And it's close enough, and it's still in the Midwest. It's not like you got to drive to Dallas or something. It's just a great event, and Iowa State, you know, they used to refer to Kemper as Hilton South, and now, obviously, in the Power and Light District, the new place they play, still kind of Hilton South. I mean, we had a little Hilton magic there in the Big 12 championship game against Houston, so Kansas City's just a great place to visit if you're not from there. They do a great job.
Well, you segued perfectly into our next topic. That is Big 12 football. And, of course, down here, like Iowa and Iowa State, for you folks up there in Iowa, there's not a comparable Nebraska rivalry because the Huskers have everything there in Nebraska. But, boy, K-State and Kansas, this indeed is a rivalry down here. It's kind of like the White Sox and the Cubs. You're one or the other. Coach Knapp, give a quick assessment. Handicap K-State and KU, a tale of two programs this season.
Well, they're crying tears in the heartland, John, because both Kansas and K-State lost.
Yeah.
Kansas lost 32-28, a comeback win at West Virginia for the Mountaineers.
A brutal loss for the KU program. Brutal.
Yeah, 38-9. 38-9, K-State lost at BYU. I think that Kansas did a couple things. They got their running game going. Jalen Daniels was making safe throws, although he still threw another pick. And Garrett Green for West Virginia, the quarterback, 295 yards passing, 2 TDs. He scrambled well as well. He had 87 yards running, although he did have 2 interceptions. The game went back and forth, and in the end, down the stretch, Kansas could not stop West Virginia on the ground, particularly the scrambling of Gary Green. Now, when you go to BYU in Provo, Utah, they had the whiteout going there at BYU, sold-out stadium, stout BYU defense up front, and several turnovers by the Wildcats, 3 fumbles and 2 interceptions. As enamored as I am and have been with Avery Johnson, that quarterback for Kansas State, he had 2 interceptions, and they covered downfield pretty well. But his running game was excellent. They had 228 yards on the ground. However, fumbles hurt them vitally. And you can look at BYU's quarterback, Jake Retzlaff, 2 TDs. K-State outgained.
Yeah, it's, K-State's got a shot. Boy, KU, though, well under 500. Chip Reedman, you're watching the Big 12 closely. Of course, you're watching the Big 10 because your Huskers now are over in the Big 10. But, Chip, any thoughts on the travails of K-State and KU this year?
I look at it as like a tale of two cities, if you want to kind of wax poetic on something old.
Very Dickensian of you. Very Dickensian, yes. Carry the thought. Okay. Carry the thought.
Kansas State they're 3-1. Kansas is 1-3. I kind of looked at their schedules. So, man, I obviously being Iowa State fans, and you look at the teams they played. They just had a big win here this last weekend, but it was Arkansas State after all, so you expect it. But you look at the Kansas schedule, and they got a tough loss against Illinois. And look what Illinois. I hate to say it, they think they got a little bit lucky, and Nebraska got unlucky in the game last night. But Illinois is sitting at a 4-0 record right now. That makes the Illinois loss not look that bad.
Right.
They lost to West Virginia, a very close game. So they've played a couple good teams, and they've played a couple weaker teams. But UNLV was much tighter than what that game should have been. So it's when you compare it against Kansas State, so they had Arizona that they beat. They got BYU that they lost to. So both of them have had fair games, fair teams that they've played. It's just they've come out with different results in them. So Kansas State I thought was supposed to do better than this. And I thought Kansas was also supposed to be at least in the upper half of the conference. I'm kind of disappointed with where both teams sit right now.
Yeah, that's a wonderful assessment, Chip Reedman. Matt Garst, I know you follow all of the lines, all of the gaming that goes on, and you have a great affection for your conference. You're a Big 12 guy. Iowa State going to see these teams. What's your assessment, Garsty?
Iowa State looked very impressive yesterday against a team, obviously Arkansas State, that lost to 10 at Michigan a week ago. So I'm a little higher on Iowa State this week than I was 2 weeks ago when we squeaked by Iowa. I look at Kansas, and Chip and Coach have brought up great points, and I won't regurgitate that. The only thing I will say, Kansas loses 3 close games in a row to 3 what I think are pretty good teams. West Virginia's okay. UNLV has been much improved. They're a lot better than I thought they were going to be. And obviously Illinois, coming off the win in Lincoln, they look pretty legit. I mean, beating Lindenwood University 48-3. Yeah, that you should beat Lindenwood by that much, but Kansas has really been a disappointment to me so far. I thought they had players to win some of these close games, and unfortunately, they haven't got the job done there. Now, switching to K-State, I'm going to chalk up their loss to BYU as an anomaly. I mean, K-State was number 13 in the nation. They have played well. They beat a Tulane team that I think is very underrated. Arizona, I thought maybe K-State would do what they did to them. I mean, they won 31-7. But getting blown out in Provo, I'm shocked by that. I was watching the Colorado game, flipping back and forth between the Colorado game and the K-State game last night, and I wondered, what in the heck? Are these people wearing different uniforms? I'm shocked by the BYU result. but I do think K-State's got a good team. Their quarterback obviously had a really rough night. I mean, I think he had 130 yards passing and was like 5 or 15 for 29 or something.
Man, those are like Iowa Hawkeye numbers.
That's Deacon Hill numbers. That's Kate McNamara numbers. But at the end of the day, hey, it's one game. You know what? I think K-State's going to be fine. I'm worried about Kansas.
Yeah.
I really am. I think they may have more issues there than I think everybody thought they would have at the beginning of the year.
Go ahead, Chip. Weigh in, Chip Riedman.
Yeah, I want to throw just one quick point in.
Yeah.
Is when I look at the Big 12 now that Oklahoma and Texas are gone, this parity is going to be huge in this conference right now, as it's against all conferences right now. But it's going to be a tough road for anybody in this conference, because you don't know who's going to be up on any given week. You don't know who's going to be down. You don't know who's going to be looking ahead. There is a lot of talent on a lot of these teams, and it's going to be any given Saturday in this case. It's going to be like the basketball season. They're just going to cannibalize themselves, I think, by the time we get to the end of the season. And it's literally going to be the last man standing because of what's going to happen, week in and week out in this conference.
A salient observation. I know Coach wants to opine on that. Coach, we got 60 seconds left before we have to wrap up as we're heading in on our Sunday night primetime here, our de facto tailgate pregame show here on Radio KOFO 1220, 103.7 FM. Coach, you get the final word here. Minute left, buddy.
Well, I think when it comes to the Big 12, I would agree. They very well could cannibalize each other. I think the next couple weeks should set the stage for who's on top. Iowa State certainly is a threat. I believe Kansas State's loss probably was an anomaly. 3 fumbles and 2 interceptions are a huge key. It's a run-based league. Having watched these games, if you can stop the run, which is an old football adage, I think you're going to be well off in this league. Colorado, what a mess that was. You never know what you're going to get there. That was craziness. But when you have Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter and that crew, they'll spring a few upsets. So hang on to your hats, Big 12, KU, and Wildcat fans.
Well, guys, stay tuned for the second leg of Primetime Sunday Nights. This is John Jacobson with Sean Torres here, thanking Coach Patrick Knapp, Chip Riedman, Matt Garst. Primetime Sundays, the Jacobson Report, is sponsored by Midwest Renewable Energy, LLC, ethanol, energy for a strong America. It's lean, it's clean, and it's green up in Nebraska. And we are also sponsored by LifeRunners.org. LifeRunners.org, protecting life from womb to tomb and assisting expectant mothers. Hang on there for the next half hour. In the meantime, be safe, be smart, be good, be strong. Love Jesus Christ. God bless us, everyone. Go Chiefs, go Royals, go Braves, go Wildcats, go Rock Chalk Jayhawks. Till we meet again, bye-bye.